Hey, thanks for coming back to Shane's Soldering Station. Well, did it. Broke that 100 subscriber mark, so thank you all for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to try to keep cranking out good videos for you, and hopefully they'll get better as we go along. And again, thank you for joining me on this crazy journey. Unfortunately, the contest for the 100 mark didn't really go anywhere, so I'm going to be pulling that. I'm going to pull the video off the channel. So we'll try something else, maybe for 200 or something. I'll figure something out. Something cool. Anyways, let's get on with today's episode. As you noticed here, I got a Commodore Amiga 500 sitting here. I got this bad boy back, I want to say 91 I got it. And the Amiga 500 made its debut back in 1987. A friend of mine got his Amiga 500 and I was introduced to it then, and I was just blown away by the graphics, the music this thing could do. I was sad to go home to my Genesis. As much as I loved my Genesis, this thing made it look like a kid's toy. So we're gonna first, before we even try powering this thing on, I'm going to get it over onto the teardown table. We're going to pop her apart. I want to give the motherboard a good inspection. Make sure, check to see what revision board we've got here. Because there is a battery that possibly could be death to this thing if it was bad and I fired it up. So we've got to make sure that, hopefully it doesn't have it. If it does, I've got to snip it off. So let's get over to the teardown table and take a look. Alright, so got the A500 on the teardown table here. Let's get her open and see what we got going on. I am a bit nervous as to what's going on underneath this case, because it hasn't been turned on in probably about 30 some years is when it died on me. And it was sitting in storage and not climate controlled storage either. It was in its box. It's in its box and, you know, in the bag and everything, but I'm really hoping that we ain't got all kinds of corrosion and stuff. So let's get to it. All right, flip him over. This thing's got some weight to it. All right, now looking at this here, I'm actually missing some screws, so that's not good. So we got Torx heads here. I'm thinking like a T3. Get out the old iFixit kit here. And with the T3. It's gonna take long here. Now, I think we should be able to just lift this top case off here. Yep. Right? Am I missing something? Oh, hey. Got a disc in here. Got my copy of Deluxe Paint 3. That's pretty cool. So that's good. Excuse me. That's good that I had a disc in there. That could be something that could have saved the disk drive, which would be great. Because I've been milling over either keeping the disk drive, if the disk drive works, keeping it in there, keeping it all original, or going with a GoTek drive and kind of just being able to have everything on a USB, which would be ooh. Okay. Sorry for stopping mid-sentence here, but yeah, it is pretty gnarly in here. You're gonna get used to that word with me, cause wow, I mean, got some rust going on here on the RF shield. Kind of looking at this stuff, doesn't look terrible, just dirty. I'm gonna definitely have to take this take the keyboard apart. So I'm gonna have to order a key puller. I don't have one of those, so those aren't too expensive. You know, unfortunately, with a lot of brick and mortar stores disappearing now, it'd be nice if I could just run and grab one tomorrow, but I'm gonna have to go online and order one. So, all right, let's get the RF shield off. Okay, so it looks like, keyboard's just gonna lift off here. All right, let's get that unplugged. That's easy enough. Get the key. Oop, what do we got? Oh, okay. All right, we got a ground here. Ground right down here that we got to take off. There. Keyboard is free. I'm going to set that over in the case here. I have to come up with something else for setting stuff aside when I'm on the teardown table here. I really don't like setting stuff on my 3D printer. Oh, all right. Okay. Well, looks like we might have to go back to the T3 for one screw. Oh, no, there's another one. Yeah, look at there. There is the motherboard. Yeah, zoom you in a little bit on the motherboard here. You guys can see just a little bit better. I like that we got socketed chips. I will pop those guys out, clean them up, make sure that the sockets are nice and clean. Yeah, all of these. Any of these socketed chips, I'm going to make sure they're all good. Everything else, though, is not looking terrible. These capacitors and stuff here, we got some here, and a couple big boys. Let me see if I can move the Amiga into, there we go. Kind of see them. Got two big boys right there. I do have a capacitor kit that I ordered from Console 5, so that's on its way. But I'm optimistic, actually, because I'm not seeing any major damage, it looks like. Nothing looks just dirty. I just see a dirty board. None of the capacitors look bulged. So that's a good sign. That's a really, really good sign. And even, because I did it, I have the 512 expansion to make it a megabyte. Think of that. This was a big deal. I mean, you can't see it on that one, but in this shot, yeah. This is the 512 expansion to give you a megabyte of RAM. And that was big thing back then. It's laughable now. But what you could do with that megabyte was pretty impressive, let me tell you. All right. So, let's I'm not sure. We got a screw that's holding you down there, fella. I feel like I got screws missing too for the disk drive. Which, younger me could have done that. That's not a shock. Okay, we got that one screw there. So, yep, missing a screw for the disk drive. I need my Phillips head again for that. Oh, okay. So what is actually holding you in place here that I can't see? Oops. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna have to flip him over. There is a Phillips head screw on the bottom side here. So I'm gonna have to kind of hold this up. I don't want it laying. There you are. Yeah, see, oop, I get you that screw right there. We gotta get him out of there. So this is just very awkward to do, especially when you got a Torx bit in there. Hold on a second. Okay, let's try this again. Here we go. Now we can flip her back over. Okay. And I'll tell you one thing, definitely got a musty smell going on here, so hopefully be able to get rid of that. Let's disconnect the disk drive here, just so I can get a look at everything else. Go upsy-daisy. Here, just kind of get a look at everything. I'm actually probably going to go off camera at some point. Take this somewhere where I can take a can of compressed air and blow it out, because I do not want to do that around my equipment here. So let's set that down for the moment. Actually, I'm going to set it over here. No, set it right here for the moment. Let's get the board back into frame here. Everything else looks good though. I don't see that battery that could be detrimental, which is good. So I think what I really want to do is I'm gonna blow all this out off camera, kind of clean everything out of here, because I mean we got, yeah, just all along here it's all kind of dirty and stuff. And then get it back together enough to test out and get back over. And I actually, let me show you here, I got this guy. Let's see if, I don't know if that, I can't really tell if that's focusing really good, but it's an HDMI adapter from retrofriends.com. So if you want to go check them out, if you've got an Amiga and you're like, wow, hey, how can I hook it up to HDMI? One of these bad boys. They do cost you $100. I'm going to let you know about that. But hey, be able to hook this up to an HDMI monitor, pretty sweet. So let me, I'm going to clean all this out. Just give it a quick blow down and stuff. And then we'll get it hooked up over here. Check it out on the monitor. See what it does. And then we'll go from there. Back in a few. Okay, so we're back. I got a new hat. Figured, 'tis the season, right? So, as I was saying, I've got the Amiga blown off just to kind of get all the dust that was built up off of it. I didn't do any serious cleaning yet. I got it put back together enough to test. So, I'm a little nervous. Looking over the board, like I mentioned before, the capacitors all look decent, but looks can be deceiving. So I'm worried that if I fire this up, there's going to be something that goes pop. I've got capacitors on the way. I'm going to be doing a complete recap on this anyways. So let's fire it up. Just to see, what we want to see is the kickstart screen with the hand holding the Amiga Workbench disc. So fingers crossed that pops up. All right, I'm going to get the monitor switched over here. Oops. Instead of turning it off, maybe I need to switch it, right? Okay. Okay, moment of truth. Hmm. Oh, something's happening, but no picture.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay, so we're back. You know, on a lot of content creators, when they make when they make a mistake, they might edit it out. Well, I'm gonna at least admit to my mistake. This adapter here, it has to be plugged in, and I forgot to plug it in. So that's all me. My bad. All right, now let's give the Amiga another test. And now that the converter's got power, hopefully we'll see something going on the screen here. So I'm gonna switch the monitor over again. There we go. Switch it on and see what we got. Okay. Green. Ooh. Oh! Okay. Okay. This is good news. Good news. That is what we want to see. Now. Huh. Okay. Okay. I gotta find. Boy, oh boy. Okay. I gotta find my Amiga discs. So give me 1 second. Be right back. Okay. After doing a little bit looking, I managed to find my workbench. One of my workbench discs, which is a Kickstarter disc that you need for the Amiga. And along it, I found my mouse. Don't know if the mouse is gonna work. Hopefully it will, but I really hope it won't wreck this disc. I did quickly grab a cotton swab, dip it in some IPA, and clean the head. So I'm gonna slide this in here. Cross your fingers, everybody. Hopefully this loads. Oh! Something happened for a second. Okay. So I'm actually behind the camera now because I kind of wanted you guys to see what's going on. I was messing around with this thing off camera, kind of trying to do some cleaning without having to, before I take the disk drive completely out of here again. Just trying to get something to work and getting some stuff to kind of do something. But, yeah.
2 hours later.
So, here's where we're at with the Amiga. I did some off-camera testing with the Floppy. And, well, it's kind of up in the air. It works from the research I did on the old interwebs. Everything is supposedly working correctly with it. The logic is working in it. And when I'd put a disc in, it'd spin up. The disc head would move, but nothing. So I'm at the point, I don't have any way right now of recreating Amiga discs and recreating a new workbench disc to try this thing out. And I've got some other original games that I'm not willing to try out in this thing yet till I know exactly what is going on with it. So right now, Floppy is getting set aside. I've got a GoTek on the way and all the stuff to put it together. So we're going to be doing a GoTek in this guy for right now. The floppy is just on the back burner because I do want to keep it if it's working right, and all it happens to be is my discs are just so old that there's fade or there's a couple of things I can check on the floppy drive. I'm going to get new capacitors for it, so I'm going to recap it. There is an amplifier chip that I can check to see if that's putting out what it needs to. So that's on the back burner. It's not a lost cause. So GoTek is going into here, and right now I'm just going to get this thing apart, get it all nice and clean. I'm going to get the keyboard apart, get that all cleaned up, so when everything gets here, the capacitors, everything is ready to go, and then it can all get right put back together. So you're going to get a sped up cleaning montage starting right now. Okay, we are finally back over here on the soldering station after a ton of cleaning keys and keyboard bases and cases. I've got everything cleaned up as best of my ability. Now we can finally get down to recapping the board and everything. I've got the capacitors all set up, ready to go. Got my list up on screen. I'll pop that up there for a second so you guys can see that. And then, to let you know what's going on here, got everything came in, which was awesome. Some stuff wasn't supposed to get here till late, but it's all here now. So, got my little screen, got my rotary encoder. Got the GoTek. Got to take this apart and get the board out of here yet. And then printed up Crazy Bob's bracket for the GoTek to go into the Amiga. And then printed up the little casing and everything for the screen and the rotary encoder. Got that from Kari. If you haven't seen her channel, go check it out. She did a video basically doing what I'm going to be doing to the Amiga, minus the recapping everything. But that's kind of where I got the inspiration to go with the GoTek, since the floppy drive isn't functional at the point. So I will drop the link to the video that she did with her Amiga, so you guys can go check that out. She's got a really good channel. So yeah, let's get down to recapping this bad boy. So I've got my list up here, like I said and showed you already. I'm gonna just take all the caps out of here, and then we'll just replace them all in one shot. So then the board will be done, and then we can move on to getting the GoTek all ready to go. So, got all the capacitors pulled. I've got all the new ones set in place, ready to go. I'm going to take you into the microscope here and then do a quick zoom and get them all soldered in place. Then we can get everything into the case enough to start doing the GoTek. So, let's get to the microscope. Okay, so got the board totally recapped. I've got it back in the bottom part of the case right now, all secure. Now we get the GoTek all ready to go. So I'm going to get the board out of its case here, and then we'll jump over to the laptop, get that hooked up, and then for flashing the firmware. So let's get it out of the case. We got 3 screws to pop out of here. Nice and quick. And I know it's like I normally take stuff apart on the teardown table, but I've got stuff sitting on there right now, so this is quick and simple. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Get that other screw out of there. There we go. Alright, and there we go. There is our GoTek board. I don't need the shell for this anymore. Find somewhere for that to go. Alright, so we got the board ready to go. I've got the Artery stuff all downloaded. I've got the drivers all downloaded for that and everything ready to go. So all we got to do is hook this up with the USB-A to USB-A cable to the computer. And then we can flash the firmware so it'll be ready to use ADF files for the Amiga. So let's get over there and do that. Alright, I apologize for this style of filming. I don't have a capture device yet for recording off the computer, but hopefully you can see the page well enough. I'll just kind of go through as I'm doing this here. You got to put a boot jumper into the board. I've already done that. I've downloaded all this stuff already. Okay. So now, what we got to do, so I've already got it select to English. So we got to click the next until we see the screen with many options. Okay. Alright, now here's where our bunch of screens are. Let me scroll down to that. Now I need to erase the old firmware and disable flash protection. Alright. Select Enable Disable Protection option and click Next. Alright, where are you? Ah. Okay. Alright. Looks like it's doing its thing here. Okay. Nice. Okay. And we gotta click back. Alright. Click choose download to device. Okay. Then click add. Add, where's, there you are. And then I gotta here, flash floppy, go to the hex, and then I need the 415. There we go. Next. Okay, look there. Looks like it's writing it to the GoTek. Alright, awesome. So that's all done. The GoTek is all written. The firmware is on there. It's ready to get put into the Amiga. So let's get to that right now. Well, we got the GoTek firmware flashed with flash floppy, so now that's all ready to go. I've got the GoTek down here. I have to desolder a couple of the sockets here, and then I got a 6-pin header ready to go. Excuse me. That is going to be for hooking up our rotary encoder. So I'm going to get some fresh solder on there, just add a little bit to make it easier to desolder. So let's get that all taken care of. Fire up my solder sucker fume extractor here. And I'm gonna just a little flux. Go. Perfect. Alright, those are all desoldered. Now, move this one out of the way. We'll kind of keep that over here to keep some balance. Set this right on those headers like that. Sure. Keep that right there. These with some flux. There we go, nice and solid, looks like. we go. More solder. Here. There we go. Flip that around. Alright. Those all look good. Cool. Alright. Let's clean up all this excess flux here. Need all that. Looks pretty good. Alright, now that that header's in place, everything's ready to go. And get this mounted up onto the bracket. And we get the light, the display set up for this one, and then the rotary encoder set up on that header, and we're good to go. Alright, let's get to it. So, I got everything put back together, off camera, the keyboard, everything here. Otherwise, this video would have been super long. So, I got everything mounted up. The GoTek is all ready to go. Let's give this thing a test. See if everything works before I put it all back together. Alright, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Alright. Powering it on. Alright, we got power on the GoTek. That's good. That's good. And uh-oh. What is going on here? Green screen. One more time here. Yep. Well, getting a green screen here, so that's most likely meaning some kind of RAM issue. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm gonna end the episode here. We're gonna figure. Well, here. Let me turn this off. Disconnect the power here. So yeah, I'm gonna end the episode here. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with this, and then that's gonna be a second episode, and that's gonna be coming right away. So I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna have to take everything back apart, check over the board again, see if something's up with that, because it worked before I did the recap. So I'm gonna go back, look over everything, all the capacitors where I put them and stuff, make sure nothing's bridged or anything like that. So until I come back with a part 2, don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep that solder flowing, and I'll catch you on the next one.